Hey, that's an iPhone 6s, and this is the HTC One A9, HTC's new smartphone that looks like an iPhone 6s. Now, this is a smartphone that has got everyone, including me, really skeptical. It isn't a phone that boasts all the bells and whistles like every other smartphones. What does the HTC One A9 have to show its worth? Let's find out. Honestly, I was a little disappointed with the One A9 when it got released. Rather than having an iconic design of its own, HTC have decided to snap on an iPhone 6 inspired design on its new phone. And by omitting front-facing speakers, it definitely feels like HTC have compromised innovation on its new smartphone, especially when this is a HTC One device we are talking about. However, when the One A9 reached my hands, my negative thoughts on the One A9 are gone. While I can't deny that this device resembles Cupertino a lot, this is a beautiful smartphone. The One A9 is slightly larger than an iPhone 6s due to the 5-inch display, and that gives it a better grip than the iPhone if you have bigger hands. And one-handed use is possible. The One A9's metal body is also one of the things that makes it a more solid device than the iPhone's aluminum build. Hence, it is also heavier at 143 grams. Its metal finishing feels smoother than the 6s, and that makes it a rather slippery device to hold without a curved back. The HTC One A9 sports a rather thoughtful design when compared to the iPhone. For instance, the textured power button gives you the assurance of pressing the power button, and the rear camera is at the top center, which avoids having your hands blocking when taking pictures. Hence, this is the reason why I personally prefer the phone's aesthetic over the 6s. The One A9 is the first non-Nexus device to come preloaded with Android Marshmallow. That glory is however short-lived, as newer devices with Google's latest OS are set to launch later this year. The phone uses an improved version of Sense 7.0, which feels lighter and more responsive than its previous version. The notification shade has been replaced with a stock one. A couple of widgets are missing from the phone's software, and even the great music app is nowhere to be found. Thankfully, the software still offers the same level of personalization as its previous phone models. Even though the One A9 doesn't feature front-firing speakers, HTC hasn't given up its focus on sound. The One A9 supports 24-bit high-res audio playback and aptX wireless streaming. The phone's built-in amp produces beautiful sound on my headphones. And if you want to get serious about audio, the phone supports audio routing via USB and bypasses its internal amplifier for playback on external audio amplifiers. HTC smartphone cameras have hardly topped the charts in smartphone photography. The One A9 packs a 13-megapixel main shooter with optical image stabilization, which I find it to be decent enough for my casual shots. The camera software is responsive, and there's this Pro mode that allows users to take pictures in RAW and custom photography settings. The ultra-pixel camera serves as the front shooter of the One A9, and despite of its lower resolution, pictures tend to look great even in low light, which you wouldn't feel shy of uploading selfies to social media. The one thing I do not understand about the One A9's hardware is the 2150 mAh battery. While I have positive impressions of the power efficiency of a Snapdragon 617 powered smartphone, the One A9's battery life is neither great nor terrible. But only if HTC could pack in more battery capacity, battery life would have been really sweet. But thankfully, Qualcomm's Quick Charge is included to charge up the phone really fast. The Snapdragon 617 processor introduces a faster DDR3 frequency than its predecessor, hence we have come to expect higher scores from benchmarks and significant faster app launch speeds. However, don't expect it to do well in the graphics department. The phone thankfully remains fairly warm to hold when under full load. The One A9 cell reception is very decent. I get consistent LTE signals on Digi's LTE network, and even signal recovery is really fast after I got out of a poor coverage area. The One A9 also happens to support a couple of futuristic communication features, all thanks to the Snapdragon 617 SoC. The One A9 may look like an iPhone 6s. It has, however, things that the latter isn't able to offer. The phone has a better display, superb audio quality with a built-in 24-bit DAC, and a better build than the iPhone 6s, even though its performance internals doesn't categorize the phone as a flagship. The overall user experience of the phone is what you can consider it as a flagship smartphone from HTC. Priced at 2299 ringgit, the One A9 is an expensive device to own, and you need to be not particular about the phone's hardware. But as I mentioned earlier, the One A9 is all about having a reliable smartphone experience.